All right, so we have sections 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8 that we're combining today. We have ratios, rates, conversions, and proportions. All four of those topics we're going to be covering. So first, our definition of ratio. A ratio compares two numbers by division. Compares two numbers by division, and it can be written three different ways. One way is as a fraction, a divided by b, or a over b. You can write a to b with a colon, or we can use the word to, a to b. The order that you write it is important. The order is important. So example 1 tells us that there are 3 left-handed students and 28 right-handed students in a class. So we have 3 left-handed and 28 right-handed. What is the ratio of right to left? So they are specifically asking us right to left, not left to right, but right to left. When I look up at this information, I really want to write 3 to 28 because that's the order the numbers are. But that wouldn't be correct because right is first and there are 28 right-handed students. So one way I could write this is 28 to 3. 28 right-handed students to 3 left-handed students. Another way I could write this is 28 to 3 or 28 to 3. You'll see ratios written all 3 ways. Part B asks us what is the ratio of left to right-handed students. So again, the order matters. I'm going to start with left. So there are 3 left-handed to 28 right-handed. Or we could say 3 to 28 this way, or 3 to 28 this way. All right, moving on to conversion factor. Conversion factor is a ratio, and it compares 2 equivalent measures in different units. So a conversion factor is a ratio of 2 equivalent measures in different units. So for example, if I said, man, it has been a long 24 hours, what is another way I could say it's been a long 24 hours, right? Yeah, I could say it's been a long day. 24 hours is the same thing as a day. One is in hours, one is in days. Different units, but they are equivalent. Conversion factor can be written in either order. To cancel out units, while converting. So we might ask you to convert 5 days into hours. How many hours is 5 days? So we'll use our conversion factors to calculate that. Some of you might know that, oh, I know, just multiply that by 24 hours or whatever, 24 by 5. But they won't always be that simple. So we included this little graphic here of common conversion factors so that you didn't have to write all these down somewhere. You will need them on your homework. One that you'll need to fix is 1 foot. 1 foot should be moved over. That decimal should read 1 foot equals 0, then the decimal point, 3048 meters. So please correct that. That one's not correct. 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. We have kilograms to pounds. We have kilometers to feet. You might need meters to centimeters. So these are just common conversion factors that you're going to come across while you're doing your homework and just in life in general. All right, so let's practice one. We are going to convert to the given units. And we're going to do it using ratios, which might seem like the long way to do it, but we're starting with simple ones so that when you get more complicated things to convert, you'll know how to do it. So we have 6 feet, 1 inch, 2 inches. So I'm going from feet, and I want to end up with inches. So I have 6 feet. I'm going to write that over just the number 1. And I want to end up with inches. I want to get rid of the feet and end up with inches. So in order for me to cancel out the feet, this is really important. So if you started to doze off, please pay attention to this part. If you want to cancel out the feet, or whatever unit it might be, they need to be diagonal. So if I have feet and I want to convert it to something else, I need to be able to cancel out my feet. So feet are going to go on the bottom. I want to convert to inches. Do I have a conversion factor where I can have inches to feet? Like, do I know how many inches are in a foot? Or how many feet are in an inch or something like that? I do. So I can go right from inches to feet. How many inches are in a foot? 12 inches in 1 foot. So my feet will cancel out and I will be left with 6 times 12 is 72. But I'm not done because it didn't just say 6 feet, it said 6 feet and what else? 1 inch. So I need to add 1 inch to that, which will give me 73 inches. All right, part B. I have 72 seconds and I want to convert to hours. So I want to get rid of seconds and convert to hours. So I'm going to start with my seconds, 7,200, and I'm just going to put that over 1. I like to put it over 1 just so it looks more like a fraction when you're converting these ratios. And these are seconds. Notice I'm including the abbreviation for seconds. And if I want to get rid of seconds, where should I write it? At the bottom, diagonal from this. So I'm going to put seconds here. And I really wish I could put hours there, but I don't know right now. I don't have a conversion from seconds to hours. We could calculate it, but this is going to be a 2-stepper. I do know how many seconds are in a minute. I do know how many seconds are in a minute. How many seconds? 60 seconds are in 1 minute. So awesome, I was able to cancel out my seconds, but now I'm left with minutes, and I don't want minutes. So I still need to get rid of minutes. So I'm going to put it down at the bottom because now I need to get rid of that. Do I know minutes to hours? Do I know, hey, there are this many minutes in 1 hour? Yeah. I do. So I can go now from minutes to hours. I know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And now my minutes will cancel out. Every time you're trying to cancel a unit, just make sure they're diagonal from each other. One on the top, one on the bottom. See how those are all canceling out there? So we'll eventually be left with 7,200 divided by 60 times 60 is 3,600. You can cancel out some zeros here, so I'm left with 72 divided by 36, which is 2, and my units is hours. They're kind of like little puzzles. How can you cancel out something? When you get to chemistry, you do these in chemistry, except not with minutes and hours. All right, let's flip it over. Our next term is rate. A rate compares quantities measured in different units as a ratio. Compares quantities measured in different units as a ratio. So an example would be, we are commonly saying miles per hour. So if we were to write that as a ratio, that would be miles per hour. So it's comparing different units as a ratio. So example 3 says that an athlete ran 4 miles in 30 minutes. That should say minutes with an S. What was their average speed in miles per hour? Okay, so I'm going to compare these two different units. I've got 4 miles, but they didn't give me hours, they gave me minutes. I don't want minutes. So 4 miles to 30 minutes. If I want to get rid of minutes, what needs to go on the top? I need minutes on the top. I'm trying to cancel out my minutes, so it needs to be diagonal. I'm trying to get rid of these two things. What am I trying to get to? Hours. Can I go from minutes to hours? Do I have a conversion factor for that? I do. How many minutes are in 1 hour? 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now I could go right to multiplying straight across, but I can see here that I could reduce 30 and 60, so I'm going to do that so my math's a little easier. 30 goes into 30 once and into 60 twice. So now I can multiply 4 times 2, which is 8, and 1 times 1, so I've just got 8 miles per hour. Notice that when we're converting things, we're just multiplying straight across. Now with proportions, we're going to change that up. So proportion is an equation, which means what? What does it have? What do equations have? Let's say that. Has an equal sign. So it's an equation, which means it's going to have an equal sign, showing two ratios are equal. It's used to find missing amounts of a known relationship. And when you solve them, you use cross multiplication. So with all the problems we've been completing so far and converting, we've just been doing straight across multiplying. But when you throw an equal sign in there, you can't just multiply straight across. You have to cross multiply. So for example, if I'm comparing A to B and C to D, I would multiply this way. Cross multiply AD equals BC. Or you could do BC equals AD. That doesn't matter. Either one of these could be first. So example 4. Let's solve. So we're going to multiply diagonal. So I have 120. It's frozen. Equals 24x. So as I'm talking, just try to, you can follow along here. It's frozen. But it's not. Did it record any of it?